Now, last day we started at the end of the class. We started at multiplying two numbers, and the big takeaway here was where is it? Were these sign rules. Just making sure you knew that a positive times a positive equal to positive, and a negative times a negative equal to positive. And if the signs were different, it was a negative. Signs are the same, it's positive. Signs are different, it's a negative. And most of you guys know how to multiply two numbers. Yes, Lachlan?
Are we going to mark the first page, or are we
Oh, no, we did it together as a class. Right?
We did?
Yeah. We did it together as a class, so I'm just doing a little recap here. Right? So most of you guys were able to do the two numbers multiplying, but some of you guys struggled when we did the three numbers together. Right? We did mark these together, didn't we? Or
No,
did
we just did them together.
we just did them together? We didn't mark them?
No, we didn't mark them.
Okay. So it was just
It was just the front page that we did.
yeah. Okay. The first question. Oh, I thought we marked these together. Okay. 5 times negative 2. What we did was you draw, just a recap, is we drew the first number, negative 5, and we're saying we have two groups of these, so you draw this line twice. So it goes to negative 10. That's how to do it on a number line.
Now, wait, which one are you guys on?
This is example 1, top one on the right-hand side. All right?
Oh,
All right. Then we went for integer chips, is where you drew the first number, negative 5, and you say that was the negative 5. Then you said, oh, there's two groups of these, so we drew it twice for the second group. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how many do we have altogether? Was the 10.
negative 10.
Yeah. So just doing it in two different ways. But that's just a pictorial way of doing it. You all are fairly comfortable with the multiplication. So we should just focus on multiplying the numbers together, right? To get the number, and just focus on the signs. So we go, first one, we said a positive times a negative is a negative. That's where the negative came from. And we go 5 times 3, 15, right? Then we had a negative times a positive, right? Which is a negative. Then we go 6 times 2, 12. Okay? Then you go negative times a negative was our positive. So you don't have to show the plus sign for a positive. Then through 7 times 3, 21. Okay? Positive times a positive. It's a positive, I didn't show it. And 12 times 3, 36. Okay. So next one. Remember the dot also means multiply. Negative times a positive was a negative. Then you go 4 times 4, 16. All right.
Wait, how is that one 25? Yeah.
The bottom one? Yeah, I think, let me just get there. Last one, 8 negative times negative is a positive, and 8 times 3 is 24. So maybe I made a mistake. I possibly could have.
Wait, no, it is 6 times 5.
Yeah, yeah, it is. I made a mistake. Okay. So before we get there, it looks like I made a mistake there. When you have three numbers, you break it up. You do two numbers together, then you multiply the third number. So you go negative 4 times positive 2. So that'll give us a negative times positive is a negative number. And 4 times 2 was the 8. Then we have the negative 3 left over. Okay? Then you go negative 8 times negative 3. Two negatives make a positive. So our final answer is going to be positive. You go 8 times 3, 24. Okay. And you guys are right. I made a mistake there. So we combine these together. Lachlan, what do we get?
We got 6.
6, positive 6, or just 6?
Positive 6.
All right. And negative 5 sitting there. So now what do we have? What's the sign of our final number? Negative or positive?
Negative 30.
Yeah, positive times a negative is a negative, and negative 30. And I should have little equal signs here to do that.
Question, like right below the teaching
matching of like the symbols? It says like the, oh,
Over here? Yeah, we do those ones definitely together, yeah. Alright. Okay, so on to the, oh, that's why I'm not showing the right stuff. Oh, blank notes. Block 1, this is where I should be at. Ah, I was on the wrong page. Okay, so on to the back side. So now this is like a multiplication, but sometimes the number on the left-hand side is missing, sometimes the number on the right-hand side is missing. Okay, so
algebra?
this is like algebra, but without putting x's in there. This is doing number sense. The first one, so it goes -4 times a number is equal to 20. Can you tell me if this number here should be negative or a positive number?
Negative number.
Yeah, yes, thank you. Because two negatives have to equal a positive. 20 is positive, so it has to be a negative. All right? So then you go 4 times what is 20? 5. Put in the 5. All right? Mate, you got this?
I do not understand it.
It'd help if you had your notes out, buddy.
I haven't.
Are you ready? So we're following, just follow along and I'll help you out afterwards, all right? Okay, next one. We have a -5 times a -6.
Positive.
Should be, yeah, focus on the signs first. Should be 2 negatives make a positive. Then you multiply the numbers. 5 times 6. What's 5 times 6? Lachlan, you said it out? 30. Simple as that. Okay. Next question. -4 times the number is equal to -32. Is that number a positive number or a negative number? Okay. Now we need to know our times tables. 4 times what is, no, Dylan? 8. Yeah. 4 times 8 is the 32. So the answer is positive 8. Okay? Or the 8 you can put in brackets if you want. All right? Okay. Third one gets a little trickier. Yes, Lachlan?
It should be a positive 3.
Positive 3, did you say?
I think so.
Okay.
Isn't, wait, no, hang on.
It's -3.
Okay, let's break this down. Right? So we go, what do the first two numbers simplify to make? 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Is it positive or -6?
Positive.
Positive, right? So this is going to be positive 6 times a blank is equal to -18.
Yeah.
So is the blank a negative number or a positive number?
It's a positive 3, I think.
No, because our final number is negative.
Oh.
So we need to have a positive
yeah,
times a
negative.
negative to equal a negative, right? Then you go 6 times what is equal to 18?
-4.
No. 6 times 4 is 24. -3. 6 times 3. Right? This is where knowing our multiplication comes in a lot more handy. So our answer is -3. We can put a little -3 there in brackets. Okay? Okay.
Wait, is it a negative 18 or positive?
It's a -18. That's what the question told us. So it was a -18 to begin with.
Okay.
Okay, so give these ones a try, and I'll come around and I'll help you guys. So try example 3. All right? Resume. Okay, looking around, most of you have got this. Some of the 3-term ones are the ones causing a little bit of issues. Okay, help me out. First question here, is the blank a positive or negative? Negative, because a positive times a negative is a negative. 3 times what number? Sean, I want to ask Sean. Yes, thank you, Sean. 3 times 4? 12, right? That's it. Okay, next one. Mate, can you help me out? Is the number negative or positive? So we have a blank times a negative number is equal to a positive number.
Positive.
No? All right, so you use your notes here, buddy. Go to the first page here. You look at this. I want a positive. So the only way to get a positive is to have 2 positives or two two negatives, right? So you use that to help you out.
So wait, that's the only way to get a positive?
The only way to get a positive. So if one of them is already a negative, right? If one of them is already a negative, the other one has to be a negative too. Okay? Then we go 7 times what is 35? So what's 7 times
5.
5?
Negative 5.
7 times negative 5 is equal to 35. Okay, last one. It caused some people some trouble. Some people got it right away. And so I saw when walking around, some people had the number, but they had the incorrect sign. So to do this question, you can look at it and do it by inspection, sort of figure it out. But also, I want to say, just off to the side, remember I said the order, when you're multiplying numbers, the order doesn't matter. Like 3 times 2 equals 6. And 2 times 3 equals 6. So the order doesn't matter. So maybe if we rearrange the numbers, it may make it a little bit easier for us to solve. So instead of having the question written like this, what if I change it to negative 3 times negative 3 times blank is equal to 9, right? Combine those two numbers together, so it makes it a little easier to simplify. So what do these two numbers here equal? Yes, Alana.
It equals 9.
Positive or negative?
Positive 9.
Yeah, so two negatives make a positive. So we have a positive 9 times a blank is equal to 9. So, yes, Alana.
And in order for it to stay a 9, you have to, the only way you could make it stay 9 is a 1.
Is a 1. Now, this 9, sorry, does this 1 have to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive.
No, it has to be negative.
No, because we have a positive 9 times, all right?
Because all the 3's are negative.
Yeah, because two negatives make a positive. So if you add another negative in, the final answer is going to be negative. So there has to be a positive 1.
Wait, how does that work?
Huh? Okay, let's assume, because there's also a bunch of negative 1s out there, so I want to talk about that. Because a lot of you guys got the 1, right? And some people wrote down a 0. I can see how the 0 would have worked in mentally in your head. So let's assume the answer was negative 1, right? These two make a positive, right? Let's assume it was a negative 1. Then you have a positive times a negative. What would that equal?
A negative.
A negative. But our final answer is positive.
Where's the positive though? Is the positive the 9?
The 9 is positive. Yeah, if you don't see a plus sign there, it is a positive.
Oh, so 9 would still be part of the question.
No, it's what it equals, right? So the left side has to equal the right side exactly. So if I combine these together here, Lachlan, that would be positive 3 times negative 3, right? You understand? Does that make sense? Right? So you have a positive 3 times a negative 3. What does that equal? A negative 9. That's not what we want. We want it to be positive 9. So this has to be a positive to make it work.
Oh, so when it's a positive, but you've already done the two negatives together, the negatives don't affect the...
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have, just think about it, if you have an even number of negatives, it's going to be a positive thing. If you have an odd number of negatives, it's going to be negative. Right? So here we already have 2 negatives, and it's an even amount, so the final answer will be positive. If you threw another one in, it's odd. There's more negatives than positives. I'm not sure if that way helps better understand. Okay, let's do the third question. What do these two numbers multiply to give you?
21.
20. I heard 21. Is it positive or is it negative?
Positive.
Positive. So that gives us 21, positive 21. And we still have our blank sitting there. And this needs to equal negative 84.
I do not know my 21 times.
Okay?
I don't know my...
You don't know your 21. You guys don't know your 21 times tables? I gotta put those on the multiplication drills. Just kidding. You don't need to know 21 times table, but you might be able to guess at it. Gordon?
Negative 4.
4, yeah, and negative, yes. So our answer has to be negative. These are we have a negative times a positive, has to equal a negative. And yes, 4. So you look at the 21 and you go, okay, what do I have to multiply to make 84? Well, I need a 4 there, so let's try a 4. So 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 88, so 84, right? Or you can do some guessing and checking, right? So the answer is negative 4. Okay, back to the word problems now.
Okay, can we just, like, example 4. Jerry's getting fit. Like, Jerry lost 2 pounds every month for a year.
Yeah.
Wait,
Well, we're going to do the word problems on the left side first, okay?
Fine,
Then we'll get to that one.
fine.
Okay? So it says Carl's bank balance at the end of the summer was $2,460. She allowed herself $32 of spending money each week for the next 40 weeks. What was her bank balance at the end of the 40 weeks? Okay? So let's make sense of this. So the amount of money she has is equal to the money she started with, right? Minus the money she spent, right? That makes sense, right? The money you have minus money you started with money you spent should equal the money you have, right?
Wait, what? Money spent equals the money you have.
Money started minus money spent will equal the amount of money you have, right? So if you had $5 to begin with, you spent $3. How much do you have now? 2. 5 minus 3 is $2. Okay? So we know from the question already that she started with $2,460. So we know the money started. So before we can answer this question, we just simply need to know how much money did she spend and subtract those two numbers. So before we can do this, let's do a little side calculation here. How do we figure out money spent? So she's spending $32 a week. How much money did she spend? Yes.
Well, don't we, like, minus the 32, or the 40 weeks from 32
No.
dollars?
No. So yes, Noah.
Don't you have to times the 2 and then you'd have 1,280?
Yeah. So if she only spent $32 for 1 week, she would spend $32. So if it was for 2 weeks, it would be $32, another $32 would be 64. If it's 3 weeks, add another $32 in there, right? So Noah's thoughts are correct. So money spent is our 40 times our 32, right? And this you can use a calculator for. It's fine, or you can do it on your head, right? So so we go 40. This is my calculator. 40 times 32 equals 1,280, right? 1,280. So we go, okay, how much money did she start with? 2,460. That was given us in the question. How much money did she spend? $1,280. How much money is left over? Right?
And then you minus the...
Yes, Dylan.
Can I answer?
Yeah.
1,220.
1,220. Now, how did you come up with that?
I minus 2,460 to 1,280.
Yeah. So you subtract the two numbers. 2,460 minus 1,280. Slightly different number. Your math was right, but maybe you made a mistake just subtracting the two numbers. 1,180 is the number I come up with. All right?
I got 1,220.
220? I would double check your subtraction. All right?
Oh, wait, never mind. Can't minus 6
1,180. All right. So then, since it's a word problem, we just leave this little statement. Say, Carl has $1,180. It could be Carl
What if the
or
girl
Carol.
is a she?
It sounds like Carol.
It could be.
What if the girl?
If it was a girl, it would be Carol. Oh, it is a girl. You're right. It is Carol then. You're right. Left. Okay. Let's do the next question. All right. I know word problems are trickier. So, Brad's investment averaged a loss of $45 a week for a year. Kevin's investment lost $180 per month for a year. Who lost the most money? And by what amount? So basically, to answer this question, we need to know how much money did each person lose. So let's go Brad. Let's calculate Brad because they talk about Brad first. So Brad lost how much money? How do we calculate how much money Brad lost? He lost $5 for a week
I lost more money.
every year for the entire year. So how many weeks are there in a year? You guys know that? No.
How many was
I heard it. Somebody said it.
56?
No. 52.
What was the question again? 52.
Number of weeks in a year.
Oh, number of weeks.
Right?
Months.
So the amount of money Brad lost is he lost $45 per each week. Well, if there's 52 weeks, it's 45 times 52. Right? And you can use a calculator for that. So you go 40 to 5 times 52, and it equals $2,340. $2,340. Okay. There we go. How much money did Ken lose? Ken lost how much? He lost $180 a month for the year. So how many months are there in a year? 12. So it'll be 180 times 12. So 180 times 12 is 2,160. So who lost more money? Brad or Ken? Brad, right? So how much more did he lose? That's the second part of the question. Now it's not only who lost more money, it also asks by what amount. So how do we calculate by what amount? Yes, Alana. I saw your hand there quick.
Subtract both.
You subtract both. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go 2,340 minus 2,160. What does it equal? And then grab my calculator. 2,040 minus 2,160 equals 180. So we can say Brad lost $180 more dollars. Okay. All right, let's try the next one. Do you want to do it on your own? Or do you want my help?
No.
You want to do it on your own?
Oh.
How about I give you, like I don't know, I won't give you tons of time. I'll give you like 2 minutes head start. Then I'll start doing it. But some people don't feel comfortable. Okay, let's do this. So we can go on to our break. Mate, first question, example 4. We want to find out how much weight does Jerry weigh now that he's lost some pounds. He lost 2 pounds a month. So how did you do this? How much does Jerry weigh?
152.
How did you come up with that? Jerry, he said, weighs 152. That'll get you like half a mark on a 2-mark question.
For what?
For that answer. Now you got to show me the math behind that, right? So you got to be able to communicate it. I'm not saying the answer is incorrect. The answer actually is correct, but you got to show me the math behind it. So yes, Lachlan, what's the math behind this?
So if you lost 2 pounds per month, you basically just times 2 by 12.
So lost, okay, so you go 2 times 12, which was
24.
24 pounds.
And then you
Right.
subtract 24, or you subtract, yeah, 24 from
What you started.
176.
Yeah, so 176 minus 24. And yes, Nate's 100% correct, but he needs to be able to show his math. And one extra thing, which you start getting more picked on in grade 9 about this, is you also need to include your units. So don't say just 152, say it's 152 pounds. So the
That's-
units
yeah, I did.
is LBS. And since there's a word question here, we put a little statement. And it says, what's his weight at the end of the year? Jerry weighs 152 pounds at the end of the year. Okay. So all those components are in there. Just giving me the 152 won't give you all the marks in the question. So give me the sentence and show me the math, right? Hey, last one. A plane coming in for a landing loses 800 meters per minute in altitude. If the plane took 16 minutes to land, at what height was the plane when it first started its descent? Got this one, Noah? I can hear you mumbling.
I think I might.
Okay.
I had 12,800.
And how did you come up with that?
I went 800 times 16.
So he's falling down 800 meters per minute, and there's 16 minutes, so 800 times 16. And whenever you see the word per means multiply, okay? So that's just a mathematical clue there. Like you see the word per, you're going to be multiplying. So 800 times 16, and yes, it was 12,800, oh sorry, 12,800, yeah. Right? So that's our number. What's our statement?
The height when the plane first started its landing descent was 12,800.
The height when the plane first started, I think these are your words, was 12,800, which is very nicely said, except for you're missing one tiny little thing. I would say
Meters?
in meters. So you can use a little m, or you can to represent meters, or you can just write out the word meters as well. Okay? Take a 15-minute break.